Greetings all you maniacs from minds and crimes, and today in Warframe I am going to be doing my own frame tier list. I have been wanting to do this for quite a long time, and I've actually recorded this before, quite a few times, but either my opinion on a frame changed, or, well, more like I got new frames, and I thought the previous one I recorded wasn't very good. Also, these tended to drag on a very long while. Like one of them was an hour and 20 minutes. So I can't cover every single frame. I know it's not a tier frame list because I'm shit and I don't have every single Warframe in the game. I know. So the frames I don't have or ever played are Loki, Nyx, and Frost. Every single one else after that I've played and have. I think, unless I'm missing a few. I don't know. There's a lot of frames in this game. Anyway, I am going to be judging the frames on how well they do team synergy wise, what their kits are like, and not just how well they do in very certain aspects. I want the frames to be able to do most content relatively easily. Now that's kind of crazy to think about, just this broad way of thinking, because some people only judge a frame on how well they do in one certain mission. So, let's get on with it. I'm going to be going alphabetical order, and remember, this is my opinion. Starting things off with Ashe. I'm going to give Ashe an A. Just an A. He is really good. He is really good, especially in the steel path, because ripping away armor is ripping away armor. It's unfortunate that his shurikens don't rip away shields. I wish they did. They could easily add that to the augment, or just make that a thing in general, that Ashe just goes straight through shields. Anyway, his one is really fantastic. It can do a decent amount of damage, and it rips away armor really easily, especially with the augment. You gotta have the augment for that, which is kind of annoying. His 2 keeps him alive because invisibility is invisibility. I wish it had a longer duration, but whatever. His 3 is situational, but can be handy, especially for finisher builds. Using something with a hammer and finisher damage mods. Yeah. Plus his 3 augment. Yeah, you're one-shotting everything. I think. Maybe a Nox will live, but fuck Noxes. They're fucking immortal, basically, in Steel Path. They're super tough. And his 4, it is unfortunate that it takes a while to set up, but it is a really cool animation, and it does a lot of damage. And it's slash damage, so it just ignores everything, except for shields, unfortunately. It's not Ashe's fault. It's DE saying, oh, shields on Corpus now take slash damage instead of it just going straight through. Whatever. So, Ashe is an A. I'm going to be going through these as fast as I can. Atlas, I'm going to give him an A-, and that is slightly less than a regular A. The thing is with Atlas, he's powerful. He can take a hit. But he only has 2 good abilities. His 2 and 4 aren't very good. I wish DE would release an augment for his 2 that you could punch it and turn it into a shotgun. That would be hella fun. Even if it's not super powerful against high-level enemies, it would still be fun as fuck and memes. And his 4 with the 4 augment from the Conclave isn't good. Rumbled does not work very well. I wish it gave him way super extra durable armor, and more damage and everything, but it doesn't. So Atlas is an A-, but he is really good. He's a very good frame. Don't let anyone say otherwise. He really is good. With a proper stat stick and a little know-how, he wrecks everything. No problem. Banshee's a frame I actually like. She is a good frame, but she is scary to play as because she really has no way of defending herself other than her 3, and that's not super reliable. Her 1, meh. It can rip away armor, but you need the augment. Her 2 is a very potent damage ability. I'm going to give her a B+. She is so close to A territory. The only thing that would make her an A give her a way to defend herself other than overshields. Because, yes, it's nice that shield gating is a thing and makes a lot of frames really hard to kill, but Banshee really doesn't have abilities to complement it. Yes, it's true with the Augur set you will never run out of shields because you're mostly spamming her too, but even then, she's very vulnerable doing anything, and that's kind of a problem. But, yeah, her 3 is really good, especially with the Savage Silence Augment, which I don't personally use very much. Her 4, crap. It's actual crap. Why can't she, like, I don't know, send out huge volleys of fucking sonic waves that just blast enemies to pieces? That'd be cool. But whatever. She is definitely a good frame. Scary as fuck to play as, though. So she is a B+. Baruuk, the Slayer of everything. The Slayer of Steel Path. I'm not even fucking kidding. When in doubt, Baruuk. God, he's fantastic. A+. Easy A+. His 1 isn't very good, but whatever. It's good for, like, reviving a teammate. Fine. And some people think, oh, his restraint is hard to get rid of. No, it is not. It is really freaking easy. Anyway. His 2 is fantastic. All of his abilities are good except for his 1, really, but that's whatever. Well, his 1's okay. His 3 gives not just you damage reduction, but your teammates damage reduction. And if it's on your side, gives it damage reduction and the ability to destroy enemy weapons by the daggers flying up. And his 4 with its augment, holy fuck. Holy fuck. The damage is ridiculous. He legitimately probably has the best exalted melee in the game. I don't even think it's fucking close. I think the only exalted weapon in the game that can actually keep up with Baruuk's fists at this point are probably Mesa's Peacemakers. And, Mesa's Peacemakers. Anyway. So, I said Peacemakers. Regulators. Whatever. I don't really care. So yeah, Baruuk's an A+. He's fantastic. He's only a bit annoying to get your hands on. And I'm not going to be judging these frames on how easy they are to play. How easy they are to play to new players. Like, someone like Baruuk is not going to be very good for new players because you're not going to get your hands on him unless you pay 325 plat. Which a new player probably will not do. Unless you want to, whatever. That's fine. But he's fantastic. Oh boy, I'm going to piss some people off with this. Chroma is only a B. Why did I rank him lower than Banshee? What the fuck is wrong with me? I should go kill myself, right? Here's the thing. Chroma, he just doesn't do much. It's not the fact that self-damage is gone and it's hard to get his Vex armor buff. That's not true. It's just he really doesn't do anything for himself or the squad. He needs a rework. Another one. He needs to be shifted in a way that, yes, he's still good against big bosses, but he's also good at normal content a lot easier. Because Dragon Boy here, well, I should say Lizard, because he's not a dragon. He's not that cool. His 1 just doesn't do anything. His 2 is very, very mediocre. His 3 is basically the only ability on him that's actually somewhat decent. And when built right with a shit ton of power strength, I'm talking max power strength, he can push out a fuck ton of damage. But you need all of that, and the Umbral mods, and maybe an Umbral Forma, and several Forma in order to do that. It's too much. Chroma demands way too much to have any sort of reasonable build for hunting Eidolons, for the spider bosses, for high-level content. And it's a shame, too, because I think he looks really fucking awesome. He's one of the coolest-looking frames in my mind. And his 4 is mediocre. He needs some help. Ember, on the other hand, I'm going to have to give her an A. She is yet another A frame. I don't think she's an A+, simply because how she works. You want her damage reduction, right? You want the ability to remove her armor, remove enemies' armor instantly. Well, you got to get rid of your damage reduction for that. Why? Legitimately, why? Now, her 3 moves in a huge radius, but even still, in something like the Steel Path, where enemies are skewed so fucking hard, where they are just so ranked, it doesn't work very well. Ember is good in the Steel Path, especially against Grenier and Infested. Also, why doesn't her 3 remove enemy shields? DE, please. Come on. She can, spawn a shit ton of energy orbs with her 4. She is kind of her entire kit kind of centers around her 4 to do all the damage, which is fine. But Ember's an A. She has some problems, but it's just how it is. Really wish her 3 got rid of shields, though. Equinox. Oh boy. Alright. I'm going to actually give her 2 grades. If I'm rating her as a nuke DPS frame for night mode Equinox for MAME, she's a B+. However, if I'm rating her for, peace provocation build, a build that slows enemies down to a crawl, a build that sleeps enemies for a long duration and does finishers, a build that can heal the entire team instantly, pretty much instantly, she's an A-. That's the interesting thing about Equinox. She's 2 frames in 1. So she gets 2 grades. If I were to round them out together, she'd be about an A. Equinox, the only build I see with her, though, is the main build, the main Equinox. And no one wants to play the slow Equinox or the sleep Equinox at all. But peaceful provocation is probably where she's at her best. Yes, you need an augment for it, but being able to sleep enemies in a large radius instantly and then do finishers on them, being able to heal your entire squad instantly as long as you're getting kills with her 4 active and you activate it, everyone gets instantly healed because, let's face it, no Warframe has like 1,000,000 health. That build is so much better than the main Equinox. It just is. So I'm giving her a B+ to an A-, depending on how you build her. I'm not spending too much time on this trash. I know this is going to piss off people to no motherfucking end, but Excalibur is not very good. He isn't. I don't care what his 4 can do. Yes, its finisher damage is insane, but so are hammer finisher damage and rapier finisher damage. His 1 doesn't do anything. His 2, great. You're setting enemies up for finishers. Equinox can do that. So many other frames can do that. Whatever. His 3 is pathetic. It is outright pathetic. It does no damage. Oh, with a lot of power strength? No. And his 4, there are a lot of melee weapons that simply outperform it. And the energy cost of his 4, granted it's not very high, but Baruuk has a better 4 that costs 0 energy to use. And it has a way higher status chance. And it adjusts to enemies' weaknesses with its augment. He's outdated. That's the word I'm looking for. He's completely outdated. Will he clear the entire star chart? Duh. Every single frame clears the star chart. Duh. You can clear the entire star chart with an unranked frame. You can do it. But Excalibur isn't very good. I'm giving him a C. And he just... No. I don't care what you have to say about Excalibur. It's not going to change my mind. Whenever I play him, I'm like, man, I wish I was playing Baruuk. Man, I wish I was playing Valkyr. Man, I wish I was playing Neja. A frame shouldn't feel like you want to play another frame. A frame should make you feel like, yeah, this frame is unique. This frame has something. He doesn't. He has nothing. And also, if you have Excalibur Prime, I don't fucking give a shit. He ugly. Alright, from the trash pile, we go to Gara, who is ridiculous. But I don't think she is as ridiculous as some people say she is, but I'm still going to give her an A+. The thing with her, though, is I don't think her damage reduction is as high as it used to be. I think it's only 50% now instead of 90% for everyone. Is that true? I'm probably mistaken. But her 1 can be very powerful if you stat stick it right, but I personally don't use it. Her 2, infinitely scaling damage. But do not use her in Disruption or you will have a bad time. Her 3 is meh. It can be useful, kinda. And her 4 glasses enemies in a horrifying manner by throwing liquid glass on them and solidifying them, which is goddamn terrifying. And explosion, and can actually nuke, kind of, only really at low levels. It's really fun at low levels, though. And it gives infinitely scaling damage and resets her 2 to keep it lasting longer. She's very great. Also, her passive is Excalibur's 2, but with 0 energy costs. Not as reliable. You can't do it whenever you want, but it's awesome. So, she's an A+. Garuda is not a bad frame. If you think she's a bad frame, you are not very smart, are you? I don't want to insult your intelligence, but the fuck? I will say, because of how Slash has been changed, she isn't nearly as good as she used to be against Corpus. I really, really wish Slash damage still went through shields, but it doesn't anymore. Why can't Garuda be one of the exceptions? Where her slash damage is so special that it goes through all defenses. Whatever. Her 1 keeps her alive, and even without her 1, she's a pretty tough son of a bitch. Especially with an Arbor build like I'm running. Her 2 is good. I do wish it stuck to your teammates to heal them over time for a set duration. But whatever. It's very, very nice and can actually heal objectives. I'm pretty sure it heals objectives. I don't know why it shouldn't, why it wouldn't. But if I'm mistaken, I'm mistaken. I don't know everything. Her 3 basically gives her unlimited energy, and her 4 slash damage everywhere. So I'm giving her an A+. Gauss is another A+. I'm going to start to go faster now. That's not because Gauss is on the screen, but this has already taken a while. His 1, go fast. His 2, very, very tough. Plus his 4 is invincibility. His 3 can be used in a number of different ways. You can ignore it like I do, or you could use it to nuke an area or rip away armor. I personally mostly use him as a melee frame. I grab my Grand Prime and go Blender mode, which I recommend you try. Temple Royale, that too. But, Cleaving Whirlwind and the Broken Bull combo. Blender, or Beyblade, whatever you would prefer. And, yeah, Gauss is a very, very versatile frame. He's very, very fun. And his parts might be a bit of a bitch to get your hands on, well, mostly to build, because the components you need goddamn fucking rare-ass gems and shit. But I think also, please don't tell me you need toroids like you need Baruuk. I don't remember what you needed, but he's a very good frame. Love him. Grendel. Do I think he's the greatest frame to ever exist? No. Do I think he's the worst frame to ever exist? No. Here's the thing. His missions are stupid. They're not fun. They're not a challenge. Well, they are a challenge. That's not why they're bullshit. I'm not like, oh, this game should be easy mode. No. The challenge is not even a challenge. It's just annoying. It's stupid. It's retarded. You're not allowed to have any mods on anything except for augments. That's not fun, DE. That's stupid. Most of us wouldn't be playing this game if it didn't have mods. Anyway. So, I mostly use him as a support tank. And like that, he's actually fairly decent. He can take a beating, and his support his buffs are okay. He's especially good against Corpus. But he needs more help. His energy costs are ridiculous still, and I don't have Arcane Energize. I assume with Arcane Energize it's not a problem, but like everyone has a rank 5 Arcane Energize. Let's be real here. That's like 2,000 plat right there to get it. So, yeah, Grendel is not a bad frame, but he's also not a very good frame, so he's a B. Harrow is in the same, but different, but same vein. He's good. He is a good frame. He's annoying as shit to get your hands on. His chassis is easy. Just do void missions. Void Fisher missions. But his fucking other parts are just bullshitly hard to get your hands on. Yes, that's a word, bullshitly. But a good hero on your team will keep you healed and keep you topped off on energy basically all the time, but Trinity does that easier. The problem with him is that you cannot give your buffs to your teammates. You have to get a lot of kills, and that's not easy to do. And he especially works very well with headshots, but that's kind of annoying. I really, really hope when Harrow Prime comes out eventually, do not DE Ninja Prime next. He's been waiting far too long. Fuck Inaros. But he needs a bit of help. So I'm going to give him a B+. If you think Hildryn is bad, you're an idiot. If you think Hildryn isn't a very good frame, you seriously do not know how to use her. She's fantastic. Is she the greatest frame to ever live? No. She is fucking Inaros, but with a better kit and shields instead of health to survive. She's a goddamn wall. She will survive through fucking everything, and also you don't use Zeneric with her. You can use like Vazarin to heal your teammates. You can use Neriman for combo. You can use all sorts of shit. But anyway, I'm not going to be ranking frames based on what they do with focus because that's a whole different thing. Her 1 does decent damage. I'm not a big fan of her horseshoes. Her 2 is fucking amazing because it rips away enemy armor and also gives her shields. Her 3 gives teammates over shields, and also with Blazing Pillage sets enemies on fire, reducing their armor even further, which is fantastic, and setting them up with Condition Overload because heat damage. And her 4 I don't use. Overall, though, you might be thinking, oh, her kit isn't that great, but no, she's really, really good. It's honestly amazing how powerful shields have become. So I'm going to give her an A. I love Hildryn. She isn't the easiest frame to get your hands on because you have to do the Exploder Orb a bunch, but she is a good frame. Oh boy, about a year ago, I used to be a Hydroid main, kind of. I really loved using Hydroid Prime, and I still think he looks fantastic, but he needs help. I'm going to give him a B, only because his kit doesn't really do a whole lot for himself or the squad, and he kind of squishy. He is primed for a rework. He could really use one. Make him like a freaking water-bending demon. I would absolutely love that fucking Cthulhu shit. All that. So, he's a B to me. He's a good frame, and he can work, especially for getting loot. And also, look at Hydroid Prime. He looks fucking awesome. Needs more pirate, though. I would recommend running him with something that looks like a scimitar and the Tsar. Time to piss off every single person that's watching this video, even more than I did with Excalibur. Inaros gets the grade of B. Now, before you unsubscribe and tell me to kill myself and try and kill me in real life, here's the thing. He's boring. Oh my god. Whenever I played him, I wanted to use good abilities, because here's the thing with me. I like using Warframe's abilities. What? I play frames for their kit? Yes. What does his kit do? Fuck all. His 4 isn't good. It doesn't add enough armor. With its augment, yes, it makes you immune to knockdowns and such, but why do you need an augment for that? His 3 is bad. His 2 is the almighty suck, but it doesn't really do much other than suck. And then his 1 sets enemies up for finishers, but a load of frames can do that. And yes, he's a tank. He's tanky as shit. But guess what Wukong used to be? Only a tank. That's what Inaros is. Only a tank. Nothing else. He's boring. If I'm taking a frame for long survival runs, I'm usually taking Nezha or Trinity, Mag, Hildryn, anyone but Inaros. Because he is just that boring. I really do not like him. And yes, am I still salty? Am I still salty that Inaros Prime's a thing and not Nezha Prime? Yeah, I'm still a bit salty. I'm still pissed off to no fucking end. I'm absolutely fucking livid over that. He's too boring. Fucking sand waves to rip armor away, sand blades, sand fucking storms, whatever. He doesn't do that. He's not a sand king or anything. He's a bullet sponge, and he's boring. Ivara is a very interesting frame to me. I'm usually not one for stealth frames, but she's kind of the exception because I don't mind playing her. Still, though, I really only use her for spies, and that's kind of it. But I'm going to give her an A only because her 3 is the only way she really survives easily. And she is so fucking slow in her 3 for some reason. I don't fucking get why. But whatever. Her 4 is a lot of fun. Her 4, but she has got a very good versatile kit. But she's really meant for those players that are very patient and don't mind taking a while to complete a mission. That's not me. She's not really made for me, but if she's your favorite frame, she's your favorite frame. I'm going to give her an A. Cora is insane. She's honestly probably one of the best solo frames in the game because she does everything a solo player would want. You can get loot with her. You can crowd control with her. You can delete hordes of assholes with her. She does everything with flying colors. She is the everything frame. A+. Cora is fan-fucking-tastic. And her whip? Jesus. The damage that thing can pull out is... oh my god. Her whip is insane. That's not the only thing that's insane about her. Her entire kit is fantastic. Her 3, Venari, meh. I know Venari can do a lot of damage. And disarm a single enemy. Meh. But the Venari heal is sufficient enough to keep her alive, and also she has enough bulk to survive most things. You do kind of have to be careful playing as her. But with her kit the way it is, especially her 4 and 2, you can crowd control so many enemies so easily that her non-survivability isn't even a factor. That's how you make frames that don't have a tanking ability tank, by crowd control. Yes, people, crowd control is useful. Anyway, A+. Limbo. Oh, so poor Limbo. Poor Limbo, man. God, I love his concept so fucking much. A dude that can control fucking time and shit. This dude's a time wizard. But he don't do anything. He's only good in mobile defense and defense. Like, I've tried using him in solo survival runs with like the Redeemer Prime, where you cast Cataclysm on a group of enemies and you stay in the rift and just blast them away. That works, but it's not very easy to do. You kind of have to like use arcane like Magnus and shit like that. I think it's Magnus. He just is the way he is. I don't know if they could rework him and keep the what he is intact and make him better. I'm just going to give him a B+ and move on. One of my favorite frames, Mag. Oh my god. Every single time there's like an update or small change with Warframe, Mag gets stronger. With each patch, she grows stronger, kind of. Mag's an A+. Ignore the memes for a second. I know, I know it's fun to make fun of Mag. Oh my god, Mag's bad. No. No, 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 no. Every single power that she has, every single ability she has is great. And that's kind of rare because some Warframes, some of their kit really isn't very good unless it's augmented or in very specific situations. She's the exception. Her 1, good crowd control, pulls enemies into her 2. Her 2 is probably one of the most disgustingly overpowered fucking abilities in the game. Can you name an ability that can easily do 1 billion damage? I didn't think so. No, I didn't stutter there. Literally, she can max out damage counter pretty damn easily if you're using the right weapons and enough duration. I know that's kind of a meme, but whatever. Her 3 keeps her alive and her team alive because it stuns enemies, especially with her 3 augment. I kind of wish it didn't need to be augmented, and I also kind of wish it destroyed the enemy's weapons because that'd be so much better. But whatever. Also, it rips away armor. And her 4 gives herself over shields and gives her teammates over shields. And because shield gating now, that's basically invincibility. Also, her 3 instantly recharges her shields and teammate shields. She is great. Do I wish she sorta had more survivability? Why not? But as she is, Mag is A+. She's great. Another very boring frame. Look, I don't really like Mesa. She doesn't do it for me. Her 4, yes, it's very powerful, but it gets boring after a while. I do like the sound that it makes if you're shooting a hard target. The fucking AC-130 intensifies shit. Or A-10 Warthog, actually. But her 3, people say, oh, it gives you 95% damage reduction. Only against projectiles. So, yeah. Toxin clouds, melee, basically, if it's a projectile, she'll be fine. I actually saw someone die during infest mission as Mesa, and he was all, wait, my 3 gives 95% damage reduction. I said, only for projectiles. And he was like, oh, I misread that. Yeah, you did. So she's not this fucking immortal tank. She's very tough. But her 3 isn't very great. Because if you get hit, you're probably dead. That being said, her 4 is very powerful, so yeah. Her 2 only boosts secondary damage. Also, she makes the game so fucking boring. So, she's a B. It does sound like I'm being harsh with some of these frames, but it's just my opinion, okay? This is taking for fucking ever. I'm going to go even faster now. Mirage, in total, I'm going to have to give her an A. Yes, she can push out a shit ton of damage, but it's also really fun to use her with Explosive Ledgerman and nuke the map. She's also very, very good in Sanctuary Onslaught and other things like that. It is annoying that her damage reduction and damage is so strict because you have to be in the light or the dark to get the damage or damage reduction respectively, which is annoying. But all that being said, she's an A. Nekros. B+. Simply because all he does is loot. But I mean, that being said, looting isn't the worst thing to do. Basically the only thing to do. But the rest of his kit really isn't very good, and he does not have enough survivability, really. You really, really, really have to try for it to make him any sort of tank, which is unfortunate. But, you know, edgy boy here, edgelord loot boy is only a B+ to me. My favorite frame. That's all I have to say. He's my favorite frame. I'm not even going to give him a rank. He ascends rank because he's my favorite. He's the faster, better Rhino. I know that sounds like a crazy thing, but let me say it again. He's the faster, better Rhino. His 1, it makes him really fast and sets everything on fire as long as the enemies touch it. It also gets rid of status effects on your teammates. His 2 can dish out shit tons of damage. I'm able to kill level 130 corrupted heavy gunners with his 2 alone. That's insane. With his 4s, of course. His 3 makes him functionally immortal with adaptation with the number mods. You basically have like 95, 96-ish% damage reduction. It's a huge amount. I'm probably miscalculating that. And his 4 is super good crowd control ability. Would it be also cool if he has a 4 augment that turns it into an exalted spear? That would be kind of dope. Where he's like flying around on his ring and stabbing bitches. I would love that. But he doesn't need that. Also, where the fuck is Ninja Prime? Everyone's favorite freak of nature, Nidus. A. He just gets a straight up A because he's a slow boy. Long survival runs, though, he is king. He does not fucking die, and he makes sure the entire team doesn't fucking die. Also, crowd control. Also, yeah, a lot of other shit. And fuck tons of damage with this one, especially at max stacks. Holy fuck. I'm able to kill really high-level enemies very quickly as him. It's just the fact that he's slow, and also farming him can be a bit of a nightmare, but, you know. He is very good. Also, he's super fucking cool looking. So he's an A. Nova. Well, she's an interesting one. I'm going to give her an A-. Only because she's just so goddamn old at this point that a rework wouldn't be the worst thing ever to happen to her. Oh, but she's fine as is. She is. But I kind of wish she was more explodey. Also, I wish she had more survivability because she is squishy. But, you know, you build her for Speed Nova or Slow Nova. She works very well. Speed Nova can be kind of crazy if you have, like, anything less than 40 power strength. So don't do that. And, you know, double damage. And her 2 can nuke a fucking area really hard. But, you know, her kit's okay. It's just the fact that, you know, she finally got a good deluxe skin. And, you know, I don't play her very often, but, you know, she's an A-. She's pretty damn good. Goat Boy can do it all. Want to slay Eidolons? Goat Boy. Want to slay fucking giant fucking spiders? Goat. Oberon. One of my favorite frames, A+, because he keeps the entire team alive, he can crowd control, rip away armor, get rid of status effects, and boost damage to fucking hell because of his 1 augment against Eidolons. He can solo the Tridolon. I know. I've done it. Not doing it again. That was hell. But he is a very, very, very good frame. I absolutely love him. Do I wish his 1 did more damage? Sure, but it knocks enemies on their ass and procs radiation on them, which is fine. And ripping away armor is ripping away armor. He can rip away all armor, no matter what. So, he's a very good frame. Yeah, he's such a good frame. Octavia is boring as shit to me. Yes, she is overpowered as all fuck, but she is too goddamn boring for me to use. Also, I don't have her anymore because I don't care about her. But I'm just going to give her an A and move on. Her buffs are ridiculous, and what she can do is ridiculous, but she's just too fucking boring for me. Protea, our newest frame. I didn't really care for her very much at first. And now, I really like her. I don't play her very much, but she is absolutely fantastic. She does need some help, though, so I'm going to give her a fucking A-. She needs a bit more help to really push her even further. But the way she is right now is great. One thing they could do is make her grenade fan affected by vacuum. And that would help out the team a lot, so you don't have to throw the grenades right on your teammates. It's just how she is. That being said, she's really hard to kill, can deal a lot of damage, support the team, and all that stuff. And her 4 is just sort of a meme. Revenant. He needs help. Okay, so. Yes, Revenant works. He does. He works very, very well. He's pretty damn tanky, and he can deal a lot of damage, but I wish he was more. He's supposed to be like an Eidolon in a frame. You think he'd be way more powerful and have some of those abilities that the Tridolon uses, but he doesn't. I'm going to give him a B+, because 1, I think he looks very fucking cool. I think he's one of the coolest frames. I cannot wait to see what Revenant Prime looks like. But secondly, he might be getting a rework. I would absolutely love to see him get a rework. That being said, though, for high-level content, he's really good. He's very good because he's really hard to kill and turns enemies to sleep and turns them into his minions in fucking chaos. But, and also his 3 is ridiculously powerful. But, you know, he just needs a bit more. I'm falling asleep just looking at this guy. Do I think Rhino is the trashiest frame in existence? No. Do I think he's a god frame? Fuck no. You have been outdated for a while, Rhino. Ninja is better than you. That being said, I'm going to give him a B. Why? Why the fuck would I do that? But he's super tanky. I don't ever see it. Even when I play him, I'm like, wait, I'm doing everything right too. I'm using Ironclad Charge. I'm making sure the enemies are hitting me like crazy when I have my 2 active to build up its defenses. But here's the thing. It's ferrite armor. It's not like a wall of damage reduction that Neja has. So if enemies hit you with puncture damage, or if they have corrosive damage for some reason, it's going to go away super fast. Yes, it actually affects. I swear to fucking God, that shit actually affects him. His 3, yeah, boost damage pretty nicely, but you can't recast it in the middle of it, which is annoying. So the people that didn't get it, you have to wait. That's annoying. Also, his passive is stupid. So yeah, he's a B to me. Saren. Okay, here's the thing about Saren. She's a fantastic frame, but there really isn't anything out there to challenge her. That's what I used to say. Now Steel Path exists. But the problem with her in Steel Path, she can't survive. That being said, I'm going to give her an A. Wait, she has to be an A+. She's so fucking powerful, man. You know, corrosive, toxin, viral. She's great. No. She has a hard time killing enemies in Steel Path. She has a hard time killing Corpus half the time. It takes a very long time to kill a shit ton of enemies as her. Now, at normal levels, or like Sanctuary Onslaught levels, that's not a problem because she kills so fast. But the boosted enemies are her problem. And I don't know. I don't like playing her very much. I think she looks pretty neat. I like the sounds the abilities make. I think the miasma sound is really neat. But the aesthetics only take you so far, so she's only an A to me. Titania. Oh man, this chick is something else. She's great. I'm going to give her an A. Because there's one reason why I'm not giving her an A+. Her quest is annoying as shit. Not just that. You could also just get Titania Prime, of course. But I wish her buffs were, 1, a little bit better, and 2, you got all the buffs from one enemy instead of, having to cycle through and then collect the things. You just cast it on enemy, collect it, or cast it on enemy, and you have all the buffs. That being said, she can heal the team because of her passive. Crowd control, and her 4 does shit tons of damage. She just needs a few more tweaks, and then she will be godlike. But as she is still so good. So, hey. Trinity. She cannot do damage. Well, actually, that's not true. Her 2 can. If you proc viral on an enemy, it actually does true damage. But A+. She keeps everyone alive super fucking easily, topped off on energy super easily. She's actually pretty tanky by herself. Gives everyone damage reduction. She is a very good support frame. She doesn't need the ability to DPS. I know there used to be a meme where I only heard of this. I've never experienced it because I've only been playing this game for 2 years. 2 years and some change. Where her Link used to be so overpowered that it can nuke maps. Oh my god. What? That was actually a thing. Are you serious? If you have any videos of that, I'd be very interested to see. Maybe. Or I could just look at it myself. But, you know, despite the fact that she doesn't really do damage by herself, she's still fantastic. I'm going to give Valkyrie here an A-. I absolutely love melee, so I love her. If you were a really big melee lover like I am, she makes so many melee weapons so good. Like the Grand Prime isn't molasses anymore with her. The Grand Prime is fast with her. It's good with her. I'm not saying the Grand Prime is bad. It's just slow as fuck. Her kit could use some updates, but, you know, she's still a very good frame. I'm going to give her an A-. If you think Vauban is a bad frame or got worse from his rework, Brozyme, you're an idiot. He is absolutely fantastic. Holy shit. He can solo every single objective type in the game easily. He crowd controls and has lingering crowd control. His Flechette Orb has scaling damage and is ridiculously powerful. He can strip armor super easily, give himself armor, which, you know, he needs a bit more survivability. I wish his Vector Pad was a survivability mine, like give him overshields or something, or a special kind of barrier, but whatever. And his one with the Nervo augment is stupid powerful. He's a very good frame. You just have to use him correctly, which is why some people don't think he's very good. So, I'm giving him an A. Volt. B+, because he confuses me. He should be more powerful. He should be a bit more than he is. I also wish his 4 turned enemies on fire. But, you know, I've seen what Volt can do, and I've had a very good Volt build in the past. But he just... he could use a rework, honestly. Wisp pleasantly surprised me. So, I didn't really think much of her when she was released. I was just like, eh. But then I got her, I was like, oh my god. She's fantastic. You do need a shit ton of power strength on her, though, but that's not too hard to do if you have a lot of mods like I do. Or you just, you know, there's ways around that. So, I'm going to give her an A. She's very good, but I do wish that her motes could follow her. Which would make her a lot more useful in mobile missions, where you're not just staying in one spot. But her kit is very, very good. So, overall, I gotta give her an A. Wukong is not a bad frame. He's not amazing either. He is fun, because his clone is fucking ridiculous. I really do enjoy Wukong. His 4 is shit. They did something. His 4 used to be really, really good, especially after the melee rework. But then something happened, and then his 4 turned into kind of crap. Although that being said, I don't really care. So he can survive very easily, heal himself, you know, instantly. He's very good in spy missions. And his clone is aimbot, no scope, fucking never miss. So that's great. So overall, I'm going to give him an A. I really do enjoy him. I think he's a good frame. Zephyr Prime, one of the most underrated frames in the game, even though she's absolutely fantastic. There will be an ins and outs of her very, very soon, probably next week. So, what does she do? She survives, she crowd controls, and makes the enemies have a bad day. Not as quite bad as enemies seeing mag, because when enemies see mag, their day is immediately ruined, because their lives are already ended. But Zephyr is kind of like that, but not really. She could use some touch-ups. I do wish her tornadoes moved around a lot faster and sucked up enemies more reliably. And I wish her 2 was like some sort of sword, like a wind sword that could do a shit ton of damage. That'd be a lot of fun. Fucking wind sword Zephyr would be fun. But she's also pretty fast, and her 3 keeps yourself, your sentinel, and your pet alive as long as they're close enough, and plus its augment makes projectile weapons, their projectiles move even faster and make you run fast. So, overall, She's a good frame. I'm going to give her an A. She's super fucking underrated. I never, ever, ever see Zephyrs. Never, ever see Zephyrs. Her only weakness is melee units, but she's so fucking fast and elusive that shouldn't be a big problem. So, that's my frame tier list. Yes, it took almost an hour. I'm so sorry, but you know I was covering a shit ton of frames, so yeah. You are probably going to disagree with some of the things I've said, but that's completely fine because guess what? People are allowed to have opinions. Anyway, that being said, there you have it. So, yeah. Will I ever get the other frames that I've been covered? Maybe. Frost Prime comes back, I might go for him. Maybe. I don't know. He doesn't seem very cool to me. So, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, in Trophy, we trust.